Hey everybody, it's me again, Friday Night Live. Dr. Darya Ghafourpour here. Welcome back. I'm glad to be back. I had to miss last week. My voice wasn't doing that great. I had been a little bit under the weather, so I'm here. And I thought that tonight I would talk about different perspectives on telling our own story. And we all have our own stories, and we all have our own observations about what's going on in the world surrounding us. And one thing that I've learned, and you've heard me talk about, is that we can see things in a variety of different lights. So we can choose to see something that would normally we might consider in a negative light. We could choose to see that positively. And studies will show that when people are happier, our health improves. Less stress, less hypertension, more vibrancy. When we're happier, we live more fulfilling lives. And so it takes a conscious effort sometimes for us to choose to look on the brighter side of things instead of on the darker side of things. And we can apply this concept into many areas of our lives. And I can just think of all sorts of things that are happening out in the news right now. And yesterday was a very odd day. Yesterday was my teaching day. And so many different individual separate things happened that were very peculiar and could have caused a lot of stress and did cause some stress in one degree or another. And it was how we all managed to deal with those different circumstances that enabled us to move through that and come out with a different ending than you might otherwise have suspected. And I'm well aware of this. And of course, the political situation is quite strange, I would say, to say the least. For me, it's very odd. And I have a lot of new friends now from all over the world, and it's really interesting listening to what their perspectives are looking in on our country here. And personally, while I definitely urge people to vote, if you're of age and you are able to get registered, go ahead and register to express your opinion. It's super important. And at the same time, I need to keep my distance, because inherent to political debate is conflict, right? There's one side or another. And it's almost like that's drummed up, in order to see contrast, so that someone who's, let's say, running for a position is able to show themselves in a different light than someone that they might consider their opponent. And so just because this is all up in the air and everyone's talking about it and hearing about it, and I see a lot of tension surrounding this, and I'll have people come into my dental practice and it's on their mind, they're making reference to the politics, and along with my team, I've kind of, I prefer for us not to be talking about politics, right? When I would like for someone to feel relaxed in the dental chair. I don't want them to get themselves upset. And I've even had patients tell me, when I say, how about if we ease ourselves away from that subject and onto something different? Oh yeah, I can feel my blood pressure rising anyway. And I wasn't even one that brought it up, right? He was the one that was thinking of it. And so we were able to move him away. Hi, Lisa. I know, right? Thanks for the thumbs up. We were able to shift him away from that mentality of things are awful and things are going downhill, because they're not, right? It's kind of a matter of perspective. So in any case, one thing that I wanted to do is, and some of you know that my lovely cousin, Marjan Philhauer, is running in the city of San Francisco for city supervisor for the Richmond district. And I've been super duper impressed with how she's doing things. And I've always loved my cousin. She's just amazing. Formerly Marjan Ghafourpour. And in any case, she's just this amazing, amazing person. And I've been noticing talk about there being some negative campaigning on the other side. And I just thought, who could do that to my cousin? She's just so awesome, right? And so I'm reading things, and I was reading an article that she posted on medium.com, and I think I posted that on my own personal Facebook. I shared that article, and I continue to be super impressed with her, and I think that what she's doing is she's demonstrating what I like to talk about, which is that when we can separate ourselves from the drama of things and really look at situations facts, circumstances, and then see how we can move forward and make positive change and do good things, then we can get a positive outcome. And so one thing that I was super duper impressed by, and look here, my tablet timed out. I'm going to have to log into this one more time here, because I pulled up the article that she had written, and in light of the debates that have been going on nationwide, you know, she I'm not going to read everything, I'm just going to read one sentence. She was making reference to something about this is simply not how ethical people behave. And she says, "And I have strong faith that all of the candidates in this race are acting with the interests of the neighborhood at heart." I love that. What integrity, you know, like there's someone who acknowledges and knows that anyone who's running in that campaign in particular, they want to do good for their community, you know. And so maybe there are different perspectives going on. Maybe their supporters have a different fiery energy going on. Who knows what the story is? But at heart, you know, she's acknowledging that people just want to do good, you know. And I feel the same way, and that's the way that I like to look at our world that we live in. And I think that we can choose to get super duper upset and stressed and, you know, upset at different things that are being said and tones that are being used and language and stuff that's just really surprising that's going on in the political arena nationwide. And I just thought it's super important to just pull ourselves back in and what is our motivation and what's motivating you in your life, and what are you trying to do? What are your goals and dreams, and what ways can you achieve them and move forward? And how can you do that with the support of others without knocking them down, you know, without trying to make someone look bad or try to denigrate somebody? You know, when we can be supportive of one another and acknowledge the things that are going well and the positive attitudes that people have and positive intentions, then we can bring more of that from those people and others around them. That ripple effect that I was talking about a couple of weeks ago, you know, it does extend outward when you have a positive intention and are coming from a warm heart, you know, a good place. Then people around you feel that. They know, you know, they know. And when, if someone were to say something in a negative light about you or something that you're doing, and others around are listening in, thanks Lisa, yeah, others around are listening in, then they can feel it. And they'll know how to weed out something that's, you know, just not true, maybe fabricated. Someone's just in a bad place. Have you ever had conversations when someone will go, oh yeah, they'll talk about, you know, something nasty, you know, that someone said, I guess that word's in my mind because I did watch part of the debates the other night. I listened to that in the car and I was like, really? Did that word really just get used? But then, you know, your heart goes out to people because you're like, wow, they must be in a real difficult place if they're trying to put somebody else down. You know, and you can send compassion outward, and you can send love and light outward, and hope that, you know, that can, you know, make a lasting and positive effect on someone else, because they're probably experiencing some pain or difficulty in their life, and they're not intending necessarily to hurt you or anybody else, you know. And when you have those around you who understand what your intentions are, and they can feel where you're coming from, that's just going to bring more and more and more of those good feelings and warmth, and it helps pump them up, and it helps other people around you too. You know, then they start noticing, you know, what's going on. Hi, Nomita. I think that's you. And you know, it's part of what drives me in my life, and it's part of what I love about my dental practice, because I feel like we have a lot of laughter here and a lot of warmth and caring, and we're just people who go to work every day and like to interact with the people who come on in to see us. And you know, when someone asks me, how's your day going, you know, and how are you, I'll just go, great, fantastic, because what pops to mind is that really awesome conversation I just had with someone, or someone made me laugh so hard, they were just so cute, you know, or they just said the funniest thing, and it just takes you out of, you know, whatever your brain is festering, you know, on, and those stories that you're creating that probably aren't true, you know, or it just has to do with you know, a tape that's running on in your mind, and it's tripping you up, and you're fixating on something unnecessarily. You know, have you ever been worried about something and you express that to your friend and they go, what are you talking about? Like, why are you even thinking that? No, there's no way I was even thinking that, right? And you just created it in your head. So in the same way, you could create something else that works well for you, that helps you feel supported and helps you, you know, bring a smile to your face and feel some sunshine in your life. It's so, so important, you know. We don't all go through, you know, feeling super happy, riding on a high all, you know, 24 hours a day. Everyone has ups and downs, but when you can step back into neutrality and recognize, oh, I might just be creating a little story in my head that's not true, or maybe I'm just working myself up and I don't need to, you know, maybe everything really is okay. You start telling yourself, you start acting as if, and then you start realizing that the more that you believe that's what's going on, you play that tape in your mind that yes, things are going well, then the more you start finding good things happening around you, you know, all those little bits of good luck, you know, that you start finding happening, people that you're interacting with at the grocery store or walking past on a path, you're riding your bike past them or whatever, someone does something nice for you, you know, because in essence you're doing the same thing, you're putting out good energy outward, and you're telling yourself the story that things are good, things are okay, you know, and well, that's what I do. Anyway, I need to be convinced of that sometimes too. I need to stop and just take a breath and center myself and just let myself know that everything is okay. And for me, it works well when I notice that someone else is having stress. I seem to have an ability to just suddenly, I'll just like slow down and listen and then just see, okay, how can we shift this? Because it's probably not as frantic as of a situation as that person currently is believing, and if we can pull them out so that they can start telling themselves a different story, then beautiful things can happen. And probably going to be wrapping up in a moment, but I'm just thinking of somebody who came in this week, and you know, he had really worked himself up into being afraid to come in, even though he knew logically that there was nothing to be afraid of. And once he was here, he was acknowledging and just going, wow, you mean all that was in my head? Because he was like, that wasn't bad, that was fine. And I'm like, well, yeah, that's what I've been saying, and everything's gonna be fine, you know. But we just need to go through, I think we need to let ourselves ride through whatever emotions and thought processes we're having, and then if someone is showing up in your life to kind of snap you out of it, to give you a little bit of a jolt, to show you something, a different possibility, let yourself listen to that person, or let yourself understand that someone's just kind of shaking things up a little bit in your world just for a moment to give you a different perspective, and you can probably pivot then and take a new, brighter look on life, and then just keep moving forward and find out that everything really is okay. So that's my belief. Everything really is okay, and I think that we can keep making that happen and manifest, and we can keep seeing proof that everything is okay time and time again. So thanks for joining me. Thanks for sending me your thumbs up and hearts, Lisa, and anybody else who feels inclined, go ahead and leave a comment for me to think about what ways that in your life that you might be creating some stories that you can take a different perspective on and help yourself move forward in a different way. And maybe there's some way that you can help someone else do the same to help pull them out of maybe a shadow of darkness and start to see some of the sunshine that's out there for all of us. So thanks for joining me. And, you know, I'll be posting this on the YouTube page soon enough, and starting to develop a tiny following. So if you want to recommend that somebody come watch these videos, send them to YouTube or send them to my page right over here, Dr. Darya Ghafourpour, or is it Darya G. Ghafourpour DDS? That's it, on Facebook. And yeah, look forward to seeing you the next time. And take care, and love to hear back from you. All right, bye now.